Hello there. Hello, my friend. Hello, my dear human being. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good mambia, hujambo, habari ya asubuhi, habari ya jioni. The four corners of the world is being greeted from this location of Northwest because it is tuko riadha. We are in athletics world and we are going into either memory lane or we are looking into the future if we have the ability. Because our abilities have limitations. So somebody said, or is somebody recognizing that? I think I'm almost saying the obvious. So this is another episode number 67 with a closer look at what has gone before us and maybe what's happening at the present. Because at the present world that we live in, I think we are consuming politics. America is looking to elect somebody. There are two choices, they are quite obvious. And this is not a political platform, this is not a political channel. But why not? Let's mention that. While we are mentioning that, I want to take my gaze to the east. And to the east is we find the familiar territory we've been before, you and I, the country, right there in the equator, Kenya. What's going on there? 1 billion Kenya shillings was spent to impeach a politician. It was ferocious, it was intense, focused, not even time consuming, it was time constrained. It was a somersault of the highest level, comical to those who are watching the events, and to see how people can be disciplined in politics. Politics, I'm talking about. Disciplined to lynch a so-called politician is an amazing circus you can ever encounter. It doesn't get any worse than that. It's a laughing stock. It's a joke. But that's my opinion. It could be opinion of a few more Kenyans. But yes, that is the focus they had, the ferocity and the viciousness of politics. Welcome to the game, those who have the guts. Yeah, they say politics is for the chosen. I'm not. I'm an athlete. I love athletics. And so I'll take my gaze off the cesspool of politics into the paradise. I'm a paradiso ya wanariadha because there's a gem there, there's passion, there's abilities, potential. Something is happening unpredictable. You go to New Delhi, you find somebody by the name of Joshua Cheptegei winning marathon. You go to other paradises of athletics, somebody is doing something. While things are looking great, I don't lose a sense of the fact that our memory, my memory, your memory, is not on a standstill. It's not holding its own. It's not infinite. It's not trustworthy. And because of that, I'll go back just a few years to Agnes Tirop, whom the athletics world have not forgotten. The family, the human beings have not forgotten Agnes Tirop. She was a news flash 4 years ago when she was stabbed, murdered viciously by a loose killer in the country of Kenya, whom I am not, I think his name is Barnabas Korir or Ibrahim Korir. I think that's the name, sorry for that. He stabbed his partner to death. The world rallied against this outrage. The outrage was out, it was poured out there. It was a moment to say, no, this is not right. Even the then president of the country, Uhuru Kenyatta, voiced his real outrage. by saying this, I quote, "Let's make sure we find the perpetrator of this crime and bring him to justice." That's the president of Kenya declaring that. So it happened. She's dead. We know the killer. And we're going to make sure justice is served. Let's fast forward a little bit. This is 2024. Do you know the killer is still loose in the country? The killer of Agnes Tirop still roams this country, is eating his mandazis, drinking his chai, going about his business as if he never did anything wrong. I just painted a very interesting picture, did I? I'm talking of athletes and femicide or gender-based killings that have been perpetuated. There's an what we call short-term outrage. The athletic fraternity was outraged when she died, even to a point whereby there was a 2 weeks. They took a 2-week hiatus, or let's have a moment to reflect of the life of Agnes Tirop, who had been brutally murdered by a partner, whom, as I say, still walks, drives in the country of Kenya. The investigation went on. Apparently, he went to jail for a few days. He was bailed out, 500,000 Kenya shillings. He got out. The case is not even pending. The case does not even exist. It's as if Agnes Tirop never lived or walked this planet. It's as if she never did, because there's no justice. There's no pursuit of that. And the idea that there was no intense focus to figure out what happened to that woman begs this question. How come a country like Kenya can spend $1 billion in a circus of politics, in a political lynching of somebody who has fallen out of favor with the leadership? How come they can spend that much time, that intense focus and ferocity and intensity? And the people, in fact, the politicians were told no vacations. You cannot leave the country until this is done. Why could that same energy not be put to even understand what happened to Agnes Tirop? I'm just talking of one femicide. Kenya is on high alert when it comes to femicide. Gender-based killings. They happen more frequent than any other country I know of. But I'm talking of athletes. Okay? So that it is really mind-boggling. It demands somebody to say, this ain't right. The president spoke about trying to find justice for this woman. Where is the due diligence? Where is the focus? This guy, the alleged killer, the alleged murderer of Agnes Tirop, still roams the country, a free man, yet a life of a young 25-year-old woman was stabbed to death. Let me take you to the parliament the last few weeks. There was an outrage by a politician. Politicians took 20 minutes in the law-making body of the country, the parliament, where puppets, I would say, parliament, puppets, politicians. The same thing. You can pick and choose which name fits the whole narrative. Okay? They spent 20 minutes trying to save the reputation of Ruth Cheptegei for breaking the world record and having asterisks and question marks because of where Kenya is when it comes to steroids and doping. They spent 20 minutes tirading and asking journalists from the Western Hemisphere to apologize for even suggesting that she was doped or she was questionable character. 20 minutes? How much time did they spend when Agnes Tirop was murdered in the house that enacts law and tries to follow or protect its people? How much time did they spend? Zero. In fact, the leading lady in this protection or trying to save the face of Ruth Cheptegei was an MP from Wasingishu, an area that is notorious for femicide. It is the same location, the same vicinity where these women have been murdered by men who are still free. The last one that we know of, Cheptegei, Rebecca Cheptegei, Demiano, whatever this guy was, perished too. And so is that justice? So we'll say, oh, we solved that mystery. There's no mystery. We found the culprit and he's dead. What role did the government play in all this to see that justice was served? Maybe it's just coincidence. Fire caught up with this mad character. Justice in Kenya? How does that look in this picture I've just painted? It begs a lot of questions, doesn't it? Where is the common man? The ordinary dude, the ordinary woman? Where is justice? Where is their protection mechanisms? When the only thing this government, this system cares for is to protect the elite and make sure they are in place, they have allowances. And when somebody tries to say something that is, they feel like, oh, it's in the news lines, we're going to spend 20 minutes talking about it. You know, in memory of Rebecca Cheptegei, the French have done a way noble memory and even the idea of seeking justice for Rebecca because they dedicated a sporting arena for her. That's the one thing the French did after Paris Olympics. What has Kenya done? What has Uganda maybe done? Is to make sure that she was buried 6 feet under. That's all they did. They gave her that military salute and made sure she was down in the grave. That's the memory of the land that she died for. What else have they done to make sure that no other woman can experience femicide and gender-based violence in Kenya? I don't know where they care. I don't know. Because there are many women who have died, not just athletes. Many women have died in the hands of men who see women as just a commodity to be exploited. Talking of a commodity, I have an uncle who calls his wife a child. Really, I'm not making this thing up. Lakwenyu, a property to be exchanged during dowry and marriages. Somebody called girls investments because men benefit when they marry them off. That thinking, that psychological thinking, that thought process of seeing a woman as a product, as something to be objectified, that when a woman has a place, when a woman earns a living through athletics, she makes millions of dollars and she comes home, men are terrified. Men want to strangle them so they can get that peace when the woman says, this is my stuff, you can't touch it. That's how most of them end up dying. Because the man is so insecure. They are so caught up in their cultural traditional thinking. Their self-worth is just anything but self-worth. It's no worth at all. And then when they see these young women, these young girls, they go after their souls, stab them, burn them with gasoline, strangle them like one of them was strangled in Iten and left to die. Because these men, these few men, and there are many of them, I have to say, they have no self-esteem. They have no self-esteem of themselves. Their self-worth is shitty. And so when they see these women who are successful, who have accomplished a lot, they have sweat, their blood, they have sacrificed their lives. These women, these men are terrified. And when a terrified idiot is out there, they go after these women whom they might think they're in love. And then the system, the culture, their thinking is that that's what men do when they're angry. They beat their partners. Violence, violence, violence. Some men, that's all they know. But I'm saying right now, it's wrong. It must be an end, people. There must be an end somewhere. We have to look really into our hearts and say, what has gone wrong? Women are not a threat to men at all. They are complementary to men. They bring the best out of anything you see them do. And I don't think people have stopped to see that humanity of a woman sometimes. It's beautiful, my friend. It's more than beautiful. It is dignifying and it's edifying. I don't know where I started, but I started by saying that we've lost our ways in the country of Kenya when it comes to athletics, femicide, and women. I'll never stop talking about Rebecca Cheptegei, Agnes Tirop. Adidas has done a great job by putting a logo in memory of Agnes Tirop. Chicago could only remember Kelvin Kiptum. He perished on the road. That's an accident. Unfortunate accident. I'm not saying his death was deserving. I'm not saying that. What happened to those who have died in the hands of murders and heinous crimes and people who are just mentally unstable in this universe? Why can't we just try to rein in on this criminality and bring some sense of dignity to these, even the ones who have died? That was me again, going back the lanes, memory lane, because we have diminishing returns when it comes to memory. And if we forget and only we allow the French to remember as a country, Kenya, I don't think we have a good future, do we? People who forget about others, about the blood of those crying from the ground. We've lost our ways. We've lost our ways and come to the 70+ protesters who were murdered by the regime of the country. And we've forgotten them. It's as if nothing happened. It was just a fly in the sky. They just perished during the protest. Political unrest, 2007, 2,000 souls were dead. Nobody was held accountable. The blood in the ground never ceased to create havoc in the country, in a family. As a country in Kenya, as a country that claims to be religious, can we just stop that idea of thinking we are religious? We are not. We are a mixed bag. We got thugs, we got murderers, we got looters, we got thieves, we got crooks. And let's not pretend we are all in this sainthood. We are not. We are not. You're lying to yourself, Kenyans. You are. We are not what we think we are. We are a joke. And we are a pariah nation. That's me ranting. Joel me. That's me, man. Going down the memory lane, remembering Agnes Tirop, Rebecca Cheptegei, Damaris, and the rest of the women who have perished in femicide and other gender-based death, innocent souls, and even the young that just perished while they were just saying, we want a better country. That's all they were asking. We just want a better country. And they shot them, abducted them, murdered them. And now they are lynching themselves politically. What a laughing stock. 67 it was, episode, down the memory lane. I had to rant. Hope you are listening, because you can always subscribe, by the way. It's free. And you can always like it. It's a click. And you can always share. It's beautiful. See you later in the next episode. What might have happened was, tuko riadha.